In this short video, we'll share with you valuable tips on how this guide can be used for oneself or when offering support to a friend or shelter or center client. We created this resource guide and workbook to help people discover how they can become their own advocate. This can lead to feelings of empowerment, and they can begin to create an action plan and take steps to move their life forward in meaningful and sustainable ways. Our goal is to reach as many people as possible, and with your help in sharing this guide, we know we can reach more people and make a substantial difference together. This guide will help people to find and access support and resources available. It's designed to be helpful for adults and can be used personally, shared with friends or anyone you know in need, and it can be used by shelter and center professionals with clients. It's currently being used in shelters and centers nationally with hotline calls, in educational classes, and in client intake packets. You can save paper simply by working through the exercises on a whiteboard as a group, or by just copying a few pages from the guide and including those in intake packets. Through a step-by-step process, people will find support for moving through challenging life transitions while cultivating their creative thinking and problem-solving skills, developing their budgeting skills, and building resilience with holistic tips for well-being. This guide will walk you through the same process we've used for years with clients to help them find the support they may need to rebuild their lives in meaningful and sustainable ways. So you can either go step by step through the book or flip to any section that would be most helpful. Some of the most helpful sections of this guide may be parts 1 through 3 for finding resources and support available, and part 5 for holistic strategies to relieve and manage stress and build resilience. Discovering your strengths and skills in part 4 can not only help you with your career goals, but try this exercise when you want to boost your confidence. You may be surprised by the results. We've been asked to share how we use this guide when working with others, and here's a brief overview. We begin by letting them lead the conversation, sharing what they've been working on and what they're aware of that they need support with. As they talk, we'll be listening to gain clarity. We'll write down what they share that they need help with and think about resources that may be helpful. This can later become an action plan. Sometimes people will come in and they're aware that they need many different kinds of support at the same time. This can lead to them feeling overwhelmed, and you can also end up feeling overwhelmed. So to reduce that, focus instead on the most important facets that need attention right away. For instance, if someone's facing eviction, then most likely that will take precedence over other matters. Ideally, you can help with 1 or 2 facets at a time and then build upon your successes from there. Then think about your role and responsibilities at the center. Will the client be taking most of the action steps? Or are you a caseworker and so you'll be taking several steps on their behalf, especially ones that they might not have access to otherwise? Or will each of you be taking part of the tasks and dividing them up? You want to think about the client's capacity as well as your role and responsibility and come up with an agreement that works for both of you. This will help each of you to know what the expectations are before you meet again. Lastly, we want to offer reassurance to the client. We're listening for their strengths and want to reflect them back. Sometimes someone might walk in off the street and you've just met them and don't have a lot of information about them. In that case, just by listening, often you'll get the information that you need. For instance, if someone says, "This is the 6th center I've gone to, and I'm about ready to give up if this doesn't work," you could say something like, "Wow, I'm hearing that this is the 6th center that you've been to. And what that tells me about you is that you have strength and drive and determination. And those are assets that will work to your advantage and that you can draw upon as you move forward toward your goals." If they haven't shared much and you feel it's appropriate, you might ask them, "I'm curious, what did you do the last time you were in a life transition that you found helpful?" They might tell you that they went to a support group or a career center, and you'll know certain things about them from that, like they were able to become their own advocate before, and so you could reflect that back to them. Offering them reassurance as well as resources can be so immensely helpful. If someone you're assisting is in need of medical attention or requests medical attention, call 911 immediately on their behalf. If you work with a shelter or center that has an on-staff physician and the proper protocol is to contact your physician first, then do so. But if not, call 911 immediately. If they're in need of mental health assistance, you can always contact your local crisis center to see how they can help. Most crisis centers have a response team that will go out into the community, offer an assessment, and share what resources and support are available. So these are excellent resources to keep in mind. This guide has proven helpful for preventing homelessness, and for those experiencing it, we know that it can help them to move through it more quickly while building more support and essential skills for living. You can find success stories on our website, and if you're a new center and just starting out, building up your own success stories now, you're more than welcome to share ours and what you know this guide can do for people while building up your own. We're all interested in helping people to remain inspired with a sense of hope and possibility so they can keep their lives moving forward. Most importantly, we want to convey the sense that recovery is possible and the awareness that this will look different for each person. For one person, their journey of recovery might begin by getting enrolled in a literacy program. For another, seeking medical or mental health care, and for another, job training assistance or career support. It could look different for each person and be multifaceted. The process in which people are able to live, work, learn, and participate fully in their communities, this is recovery, according to the President's New Freedom Commission report. They continue in the quote, "For some individuals, recovery is the ability to live a fulfilling and productive life despite a disability. For others, recovery implies the reduction or complete remission of symptoms. There are 9 core components of recovery according to the Federal Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, and we'll just briefly touch upon each one. First and foremost is the sense that hope is the foundation, the cornerstone. Without a sense of hope and possibility and a vision of what they can be moving towards, people may feel stuck and overwhelmed. By gently reminding them of hope and the possibilities available, we can help them continue to move forward by taking small and manageable steps. The awareness that perseverance is what yields results. Recovery isn't a linear process, so people might take a step sideways or backwards, and that's okay and won't determine their end results as much as their ability to get back up, continue on, and keep taking small steps forward on their own behalf. Focusing on strengths and building upon those not only increases self-esteem and coping skills, but it helps people to find work and activities that bring meaning, purpose, joy, and sustainability into their lives. Studies show that when people participate in self-help groups, it can relieve feelings of isolation, improve self-esteem, and support the building of coping skills. Peer support is usually readily available in most areas and also freely. When people identify their own goals and begin taking steps towards them, empowerment not only becomes possible, it can become a reality. Recovery becomes possible when people are willing to assume personal responsibility for their care and start seeking new support systems and strategies in support of their goals. A holistic approach addresses one's whole life and their body, mind, emotions, and spirit. Housing, employment, healthcare, and other facets that affect well-being need to be considered and addressed. We seek to meet people where they are and treat them with dignity and respect. As we offer them acceptance, we're helping not only to diminish their experience of discrimination and stigma, but to help them rebuild self-acceptance and a sense of possibility. Our goal is to reach as many people as possible with this resource guide and workbook, and we know that with your help we can reach more people. If you could share it with colleagues, other shelters and centers, and anyone you know in need, we would really appreciate it. It was designed for anyone in a life transition who needs support, not only someone who's experiencing homelessness, so it has a broad number of applications and can be shared with family, friends, co-workers, pretty much anyone, really. If you can help us track our progress by opting in for the guide on our website, we would really appreciate it. We have a simple form there that will help us know which states it's getting to and how many people are being served, so we would really appreciate that. Lastly, feel free to reach out to us and connect with us on our website. We have a contact page there at friends-of-the-homeless.com. We'd love to hear from you and hear how you're using the guide in your center and how it's supporting your clients. Thank you for the work you're already doing in the world and for wanting to utilize this guide.